for being here. You know, I chose April 1st because it's a pretty significant date to me. Not only did we get these April Fools from no rain, but also it's the day I proposed to my wife. It gave me kind of the opportunity to say April Fools in case she said no. My name is Justin Johnson. I know most of you know me here. I'm here today with my friends and my family to announce my candidacy for the Arizona legislature for state senate. I could have made an announcement in a typical press release or some other written statement, but I wanted to come here, back to my Sunny Slope community, because this unfinished and unoccupied building is a symbol of what's wrong in Arizona. It's a visible sign of what has stopped working here, and it's a wake-up call that business as usual, business the old way, is no longer working. So I'm here this morning with you, with my family, to say that it's time for us to recognize that Arizona faces a fork in the road. A crossroads between the way we created prosperity in the past and the way that we build it for the future. In a few short years, this state is going to be 100 years old. It's not such a long time. But in the beginning, this state was known for the 5 C's: cotton, cattle, citrus, copper, and climate. Those 5 C's drove our economy, and because of that, they drove our lifestyle. But our climate is still pretty fantastic. It still draws people out today, as long as we don't bring them out in July and August. But we all know that over the past quarter of a century, only one thing has driven our economy, and that's growth. And while we will continue to grow, and that's a good thing, our economy is no longer as simple as siphoning off a robust real estate market. That formula worked for my generation. It worked for the generation before mine, but it's no longer going to be good enough for my sons. If my son Cohen is going to grow up and have the kind of chances that I have had to make it here in Arizona, we will need to take a fresh look at things. This site, this building, tells us a story. It's a story we've heard from economists like Elliott Pollock and leaders like Arizona State University's Michael Crow. It's a sign of having all of our eggs in one basket and not spread around. We had and have an economy that needs to be diversified. When times got tough, this company, Skyline Ridge, had to stop construction. The capital markets dried up. People weren't able to be financed through the banks anymore. The investors took a hit, and the folks who thought they were moving up to a better standard of life, with better views, are not. In many ways, that is the story of Arizona over the past few years, and it's a story that needs to change. The Arizona economy must be our #1 priority. There are many ways to doing it, many right ways to doing it. In preparing to decide whether or not to run for state senate, I've gone out and met with business leaders and other folks in the professional community, folks that are set on figuring out how to make things right. I visited with small business owners and employees, people who are afraid about what's going to happen tomorrow, and people who are grateful, and I do mean grateful, to work harder and earn less as long as it keeps them afloat. We need to plan for our future here in Arizona, plan to create jobs. And if elected to the legislature, I've put together a 3-point plan to try and build this economy. #1, provide incentives to grow our base industries through tax incentives and companies to create new jobs. This will give tools to our economic development companies, similar to the solar incentives that were offered to bring new industries here to Arizona. #2, publicly fund but privatize our Department of Commerce. Turn it over to a company like GPEC, or Tucson's Economic Council. A company that's structure is based on output production. Efficiency is key in the private sector. It should be the same with our Department of Commerce. And third, provide an ability to fund our universities, our K through 12, to allow us the training, the proper and healthy workforce. It's not easy. No one will tell you it is. But it must be bipartisan. It should limit future state spending. It should make Arizona more competitive in job creation and allow us to educate our children. It isn't easy, but it is definitely doable. Any business, large or small, will tell you that an educated workforce is key to their success. That means an education system, K through 12 and universities, that's effective. In order to put people to work, we need an education system that works. But money alone won't fix the problem. My 3 priorities for education at the legislature is #1, to consolidate school districts. Push more money down into the classrooms where the teachers and the students are. Marty Schultz, who heads up an education committee, has said that this will save our state $500 million a year. Number two, create accountability in our public school system by scrapping the Ames test and implementing the national and international tests similar to what Intel's Craig Barrett had mentioned. And third, grading each school A through F. Any school that performs with a failing level for 2 semesters in a row, shut it down. Revamp and reopen it with new teachers and a new administration, and give the parents the opportunity to attend another school. I strongly believe in everything I told you, and I hold my values dear. But if I'm elected by the people in District 10, it will be because the voters in this urban metropolitan area have decided that there's not a Democratic way or a Republican way to meet our future. It will be because they have decided we need to meet the future with common sense, bipartisanship, and a commitment to problem solving. What Arizona really needs is fresh energy. We need a new perspective on solving problems and finding common ground. We need Republicans who believe fiercely in funding education, and Democrats who believe passionately in working to create jobs and better our business here, and vice versa. We need independent voices, not just from registered voters, but from elected officials as well, and we need it now. We need a government that works, one that functions as a unit with differences of opinion, but with cooperation, and one that tackles problems that face working men and women here in Arizona. Legislators who measure their degree of success should measure it the same way folks do in this district and in this community, based off of what you accomplished, who you've helped, and what difference you've made. I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend that I do, but I know how to reach out to those who do, and I know how to listen. I know that good ideas don't come with a party preference. They come from Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike. I believe in opening up state government. Arizona legislature needs to abide by an open meeting law. Today they don't inside their closed caucuses. The state needs to do an open meeting law that allows public input, transparency in government. I believe in civility, debate, and respect for those who hold different point of view. Because again, I don't know it all. I believe we need to revamp our public finance law. The current system allows people to run for office without having to create support by using taxpayer dollars to finance their campaign. This has caused elected officials to become more extreme, not less. It has closed off government to input of citrus groups, the business community, and other moderates and empowered extremists. I believe we need to allow independents to have a voice in government that is proportionate to their numbers, and today, that number is a third. The old partisan system does not work. I will work for my first 2 years to build a coalition to support a nonpartisan election process and try and take our government back from the extremists that control it today. I know that building our future is more important than clinging to ideology. We all love Arizona, and I think we have more in common than we care to admit. While this building is in my district, the problem that it contains, the problem is consistent throughout the state. As Arizonans, we are all in this together. You hear a lot these days about the repealing of term limits. Critics say that 8 years is just not enough time to be able to learn how to legislate and lead. They say we have term limits every 2 years at the ballot box. While Senator Linda Gray, my opponent, supported repealing those term limits. She's been in the legislature since 1996. Apparently 14 years is not enough time. And you know what? While most of the public in Arizona doesn't agree with Linda Gray, I say let the voters enforce term limits at the ballot box. I'm Justin Johnson. I'm running to bring a fresh energy to Arizona legislature, and if that limits someone's term, then so be it. Thank you.